Asmongold is often seen as being the embodiment of the lazy gamer stereotype, and that's kind of putting it lightly. The trope of streamers living in filth and lacking basic adult skills? Yeah, that's largely based on Asmongold.
Last night, I ended what happened to be the longest streak that I've ever had of not taking a shower. About a month and a half.
I had like this snack box, and there were like maggots in the snack box, and I would eat the food with the maggots inside of the food.
The idea that content creators feel entitled to make a lot of money despite a lack of hard work or skill, yeah, also Asmongold.
I love watching videos on stream, by the way. Some people think that's lazy content. It is. I still like doing it. It's easy, it's funny, I like watching the videos, it's just cool.
Gamers and streamers being seen as reactionary types who cry woke every time a gaming protagonist doesn't look like a muscular version of this. Yeah, Asmongold.
Well, this is something I've said before that really triggers people. I think that it's weird to play female characters if you're a guy. Like, I don't play Tomb Raider. As soon as I found out Metroid was a girl, I was done. I was so worried about that shit happening with Master Chief, too. Like, whenever I had to play female characters in Heroes of the Storm, whenever I was playing that, it was very, very upsetting, and I had to quit the game.
Like, this is a man who had the biggest controversy of his life, and his apology included him saying he would clean his room to prove that he's changing.
I'm going to try to, like, I don't know, like, clean up part of my house. I'm going to try to do this, and I'm not going to hire a cleaner. As I said, I was raised Roman Catholic. I view this as a penance. And I think I need to do this for myself.
And that worked. Like, to give you an idea of how people see this man, this is an actual quote from his Wikitubia page. In real life, he is unemployed, since he makes enough income to do Twitch and YouTube full-time. Now, admittedly, Wikitubia can be a pretty poorly written site, but the man is seen as being so lazy that he might just be the only creator that's described as being unemployed despite being a millionaire. Now, I don't say any of this because I plan on making fun of Asmon for 20 minutes, but because it's important to understand exactly what we're dealing with here when talking about his most recent controversy, where Asmon decided to weigh in on the unnecessary loss of Palestinian life with the following insight.
I don't give a f***. They're terrible people. These people are not your allies. They are not the same as us. They come from an inferior culture that is horrible. It kills people for their identity, and it is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways.
Now, you're probably not a creator, media person, whatever, right? Yeah, I'm sure it was immediately obvious to you why that language is so stupid coming from a public figure, regardless of what opinion they're actually expressing on the matter, right? So I want to talk about how a mistake like this gets made by someone with over a decade of being online, and why I think this was inevitable for Asmon. Spoilers, it all stems from a very specific feedback loop. What do I mean? But first, I gotta thank today's sponsor, Aura. This year has seen some major data breaches expose millions of people's information to hackers. With Dell's breach affecting 3.9 million customers, AT&T's 2 breaches a total of 11.5 million, and Ticketmaster managed to compromise 560 million customer records. But the most alarming breach has to be when 2.9 billion records were stolen from national public data, which is supposed to offer personal information to those running background checks like employers. These stolen records include a person's full name, address, date of birth, social security number, and phone number, along with alternate names and birth date. And members of the hacker group have reportedly released this information for free online. But that's not the only reason to be concerned about your cybersecurity. I mean, personally, I've been getting phishing emails from people pretending to represent major companies wanting to collaborate. You see, they send over a program they say contains the contract, only running said program would potentially hijack my computer or even my YouTube channel. It's definitely a scary time in the world of cybersecurity, and that's where Aura comes in. Aura alerts you if they find your phone number, email, or social security number on the dark web, or if anyone tries to use this information to access credit or banking accounts. They also provide up to $5 million in identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario happen, not to mention a bunch of other features that keep you safe, all inside of one app. Sign up today at aura.com/JimmyRobbins for a 14-day free trial, which is more than enough time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data is exposed. With how massive these recent leaks have been, there's really nothing to lose by being prepared. Thanks to Aura for helping keep the lights on. Now back to the video. See, Zach, better known as Asmongold, got his start in 2008 by making videos about World of Warcraft on the channel Zach Roar.
This is my mom. She's been playing for a long time. She's on Warcraft. Level 59. She's right about to get to level 60.
Though from 2013 to 2018, he started to take this more seriously, posting over 900 tutorials and gameplay videos on his second channel, Asmongold.
It's your boy Asmongold. Today, I'm going to show y'all how to get the Drake of the South Wind.
But despite 5 years of hard work and consistent uploads, the results were quite modest, with him gaining just over 300,000 subscribers. Then, in December of 2019, Asmon launched a new channel, Asmongold TV, and in just 5 years, the same amount of time that his first channel ran, Zach was able to amass 3 million subscribers by releasing 5,000 videos. Now, you might reasonably ask, how the hell did he manage to quintuple his already impressive output and release multiple high-quality videos a day? And the answer is React content.
Over 250 hours ago, I set out to do one thing and one thing only. Play WoW Classic to a point where I'd have fair grounds on which to review the game. A feat that eludes me to this very day.
Yes, this marked a significant shift from his earlier grind. Instead of the deep involvement required for his World of Warcraft videos, keeping up with the meta, understanding game mechanics on a deeper level, and constantly producing new content, React videos were a much simpler path to success. And Zach himself has been open about choosing this direction because, well, it's easy.
I love watching videos on stream, by the way. Some people think that's lazy content. It is. I still like doing it. It's easy, it's funny, I like watching the videos, it's just cool.
He once said his goal was to react to so much content that his videos would appear on the homepage of everyone visiting YouTube. And to make matters worse, his reactions are just re-uploads of his streams where he initially watched the clips, allowing him to build both a major streaming career and a YouTube channel with nearly 3 billion views, but with far less effort compared to his earlier content.
They effectively outsource the time, cost, and effort to their competitors in the market, while spending no time, cost, and effort themselves. It also avoids much of the stress and potential for burnout associated with this industry, as you are not doing the work normally associated with it.
Now, from what I understand, Asmon was quite knowledgeable about World of Warcraft, but maintaining that expertise required significant effort. I mean, even having to upload so many videos of his gameplay. Playing a game that you're not feeling kinda sucks. Like, what are the odds this man wanted to play World of Warcraft every day? Though when talking about content creation, of course, it's all relative. Like, any of this is better than most blue-collar jobs that destroy your body. But from Zach's perspective, reacting was just easier. Yeah, to put it simply, React content is largely criticized for piggybacking off of the labor and cost that others invest into their content without having to contribute.
Reactors are ultimately avoiding work and pushing themselves above everyone else with unlimited unpaid labor. Guys, you don't understand. I'm stealing labor to avoid paying wages, so it's totally okay.
You know the phrase work smarter, not harder? Well, Sniper Wolf does neither. She just steals and doesn't credit anyone, and has become a zillionaire in doing so.
And by the way, when I talk about React content in this context, I'm not talking about experts who take clips and add to them in order to make them educational.
You're gonna have to tell us how you do the fast run.
It's called the magic carpet. It's like a really long treadmill. It gets latched onto the back of a car, and the car will pull it at speed, and then you sprint on that.
I'm specifically referring to people who watch full videos in their entirety with no idea if they can contribute, but then they still re-upload it anyway.
Oh, I know that's the secret book that unlocks a hidden door. Oh, does the bottom part come out too? Yeah, pull it open. Oh, it lifts up. Wait, so they're not actually real books?
Like, I don't think the world needs to see what Zach thinks about what Donkey thinks about the new Dragon Ball Sparking Zero game, right?
Here I come. Oh, too high. Oh no, that's too high. I'm just figuring out the controls. Then I'll come kill you.
Okay. Hurry up and get serious. Come at me with everything you...
Basically, if you react to a video with a $20,000 budget, then your reaction technically has a $20,000 budget since you're getting to re-upload that video. But you don't have to invest a dime, and in fact, you get paid. Not to mention the fact that your re-upload is competing with the original video. And then with React streaming, it's controversial because it's allowing the streamer to essentially stream forever without having to do anything thanks to infinite unpaid labor. Like, streamers will literally play videos while they take breaks so that they don't lose any viewers.
You could make a compilation of me sitting around, not even on camera, with a fucking video playing in the background.
But a streamer who relies solely on their labor is limited by, well, the limits of being human. So they might not be able to stream for more than a few hours at a time without the quality of the stream decreasing.
My advice to anybody that wants to grow streaming, don't stream a lot. Because if you don't put on the same energy as you had in the clips, people are gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna watch.
Basically, it's a way to ride the coattails of thousands of creators with minimal impact on each individually, making it unlikely that any of them would protest or have any real effect even if they did.
But let's be real. If a creator tries to take down an XQC or whoever it is, they're gonna get in a world of hate because of it, and it's just totally not worth it.
And Asmon, as with all React creators, will try to defend this practice, but he often does so by cherry-picking information in order to ignore whatever's inconvenient to his argument.
Like, a lot of the people who I watch their videos,
They are completely fine with me watching their videos.
If you steal content, you don't get a pass if after the fact, some small portion of the people you stole from are actually cool with it. For if someone didn't allow Asmon to watch their content, they could potentially face social and financial repercussions for saying no.
And the thing is, while Dark Viper AU has consistently responded to this with detailed video essays, the internet as a whole has largely sided with Zach on this topic. Because on the surface, React content seems like it would be a positive for viewers, because it gives them more content to choose from and an alternate way of watching videos. Worst case, they could just ignore the reaction and watch the original, right? And because of how much of a privilege doing content creation as a job is, people aren't generally sympathetic to the issues that creators face. So in other words, Asmon did the typical content creation grind for years. He worked hard, was knowledgeable on a subject, and attempted to produce original content daily. Yet the return he got was nothing compared to, well, the easy way. And when his content strategy started to see pushback, he received pretty strong support despite him making less of a compelling argument than his opposition, or at least less of a well-crafted one. And in general, he's received kind of an insanely positive feedback loop since. First, he makes a ton of money doing what he does.
Well, it's been 3 days. I've been back streaming. And I have got 43,000 subs. I get $3.50 a sub. So that's over $100,000. It's a good day. Get some of these right here, you get some money.
And according to him, the work of putting content on his YouTube channel was outsourced years ago.
I don't run the channel. Kat, Danny, and Daily Dose of Asmongold run the channel. I have no oversight over the channel. They upload everything on their own, completely independent of me.
Second, he has a committed audience. While some of his more cliched opinions get flack on Twitter, it ultimately doesn't matter. Like, I've made this argument before, but backlash is irrelevant unless it's coming from your viewers. If the entire internet is against you, but your core audience is fine, the worst case scenario is a lack of collaboration opportunities.
I think Jimmy needs to make a reply. Like, he technically doesn't need to. He uploaded a YouTube video and it got 120 million views. And he could probably continue to upload videos without ever replying and continue to get hundreds of millions of views. But I won't be able to support him. I won't support him in any way, shape, or form if that's what he does.
Just ask Sneeko or iDubbbz, who get more pushback for saying something inclusive than something overtly offensive.
The woman! What?
We love women. We love women. We love women.
What? Not like transgender.
Sir, we love everybody. No.
All gays should die.
What have I done?
It was a dumb idea. I harassed someone. I was saying slurs and I was trying to justify it all.
Or Nick Green, who had a massive part of the internet criticizing his behavior throughout 2023, but he kept doubling down until his audience also turned on him.
If you look at my channel, especially right before I made my videos on Super Mega, you'll see that I don't need or want clout or attention from them. My TikTok drama audience does not overlap with a dying Let's Play channel. I wrote off any of the criticism, basically saying that the people who were making videos about me weren't credible sources in my eyes. They were responding in bad faith.
So all of those tropes that I had mentioned before, of Asmon being a reactionary or living in filth, it didn't hurt his audience, so who cares? But with all of that said, let's talk about the clip itself.
So no, I'm not going to cry a fucking river. These people are not your allies. They are not the same as us. They come from an inferior culture that is horrible. It kills people for their identity, and it is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways. It is that simple. No, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't care.
Yeah, from a pure PR perspective, being as professional as possible, that was dumb as hell. Of course, that was in reference to Israel's recent actions against Palestine and led to Zach receiving a temporary Twitch ban for the account where he made these comments. But regardless of which side Asmon himself aligns with, it's so indescribably stupid to A, give your 2 cents on the topic really at all if you don't know what you're doing, but B, to use such dehumanizing language to justify the unnecessary loss of life. The kind of blunt language that's used to cry about women being in video games doesn't work really at all, but especially not when talking about something real that has such high stakes. Especially when you're talking as an American at a time where American culture is not really seen in an overly positive light.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats.
And if you think about it, misspeaking about a topic on this level, it's not really something that you see too often from legacy YouTubers, right? Like ones who had to spend years tirelessly proving themselves to get to where they are. That's why it was worth understanding the specifics of Asmon's rise. He was trapped in such a feedback loop of his audience enabling all of the times he would give half-baked and very surface level opinions. So I think it fostered arrogance. It emboldened him.
Well, there's a few talking points he has where it feels like he just said them at one point and his extremely doomer audience is going to true everything he says. And if you just have 50,000 people true you too many times, you just start really, really being confident in your bad takes.
So the unimportant opinions getting positive feedback made Asmon overestimate his ability to comment on more nuanced and layered topics. Yeah, better not to push that too far or else that'll change quickly. In other words, Asmon's probably better off just parroting other people instead of trying to strike out as a philosopher. Though to give credit where it's due, Asmon seems to be trying to take this as an opportunity to learn and grow. That clip before of him cleaning his room was actually part of a wider apology acknowledging that, yeah, he had been on a negative trajectory and wants to do better.
I said that I didn't care about innocent people getting killed by another force, by anything. And I think that that's a horrible, disgusting, mean-spirited thing to say. I think that I've been slowly devolving into the most mean-spirited, rude, like nasty, like just callous, psychopathic version of myself. I think that I've been devolving into this. And I've finally had some level of accountability for that. And thank God.
So to be clear, the point of this isn't me harping on about how offensive that statement was, because I don't think you need me to do that. Rather, I wanted to give my reasoning for why such an obvious blunder could happen in the first place. In my opinion, the way that a creator rises affects how they conduct themselves online. Creators who grow gradually through years of grinding tend to be more mindful when they speak. I mean, for one, they've invested much more into their business. Is one opinion really worth risking that? Not to mention that they likely spent a long time as a mid-sized channel, where they were able to make mistakes, receive feedback, and learn without being policed as heavily as larger creators. This experience helps them understand when to hold back. Take Jax Films, Jaden Animations, Smosh, or Moist Critical. None of these creators are frequently in controversies that can't be resolved with a simple statement. By contrast, creators who gain rapid success often face repeated controversies, usually due to either overestimating their knowledge or underestimating how much care they should take when speaking. Just take Aiden Ross.
Basically something I said about offending some type of group of people. And I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, apologize for absolutely nothing, okay? I'm Aiden Ross, and Aiden Ross is gonna say what the he says.
Or XQC, who followed a similar path to Zach. He got his start as a professional gamer, shifted to React content, and then has struggled to justify their reliance on unpaid labor without showing a sense of entitlement.
When XQC was called out for the lack of commentary, XQC just gets angry and makes some stuff up.
Metal pipes, cement.
They also both lack the skills to articulate their opinions particularly well.
Do a week of no reaction content and see how many fucking views you get. Oh, he's crying in the corner. Oh, okay, sure. I mean, that's content, man. It's original content at least. Yes, do that, bro.
And for the most infamous example of this, just think back to last year, where Sniper Wolf showed up to Jax Films' house and doxed him in response to criticism.
Sniper Wolf is already making light of the situation, as if stalking someone is a quirky thing to do. No one should feel unsafe in their own home. And thanks to Sniper Wolf, my wife and I now do.
And wouldn't you know it, she's a millionaire from React content. But compare that to how controversy is handled by internet veterans like Drew Gooden.
There's no punchline, it's just two offensive stereotypes back to back. I am baffled that I ever thought this was funny. This is the laziest form of comedy that there is, and I'm so sorry for making such a stupid, insensitive tweet.
Or Moist Critical.
So I do believe it is possible that he did have a very negative effect on how a lot of the youth perceived slurs, and I'm sorry that I didn't consider that angle. I failed to realize that I was still pretty f***ing old when the content cops were, you know, hitting the cyberspace.
What's more, Ethan Klein's reputation took a nosedive in direct correlation with his change from concise commentary.
This is fun, man. I'm gonna mystery box more often.
This is fun, man. I'm getting a crazy adrenaline rush. Yes! That's not why people get addicted to gambling, for the rush of it. A perfect activity for an 8-year-old.
To drawn out in live stream podcasts.
Ethan Klein, can you stop talking about my fucking weight on your podcast? It's well documented that I've talked about myself having an eating disorder that I've had to really fight to overcome over the years. So when you say on your podcast to hundreds of thousands and if not millions of people that I am permanently doughy, that I am a ham sandwich, it's
The main takeaway here is that gradual growth gives creators the experience they need to avoid unnecessary conflicts and learn from smaller mistakes along the way. Those who lack that that growth period often make errors that blow up into larger controversies, unable to maintain a balanced response under pressure. And if someone's success is owed to shortcuts, they're more likely to take it for granted how miraculous of a position they're in. Hence why a pro like Asmongold can make a statement that's so stupid that everyone but him can immediately identify the mistake. And none of this even considers that for certain platforms like TikTok or Twitch, the pressure is to produce a higher quantity of content daily. It's a lot less thought that you can put into every word, especially when live. And it's not like this is exclusive to content creation. Would you rather take advice from a trust fund kid whose greatest struggle was a small cut in their weekly allowance, or someone who came from poverty and overcame real adversity? And since I spent 4 years on YouTube grinding to get to where I am, I think that qualifies me way more than Zach to give my hot take on geopolitical conflicts. So with that said, I think it's as simple as dropping and you can quote me on that.